After centuries of unanswered questions and countless failed searches, the long-lost Oak Island treasure may finally have been revealed at Smith's Cove. For generations, fortune seekers have risked deadly traps, frightening obstacles, and endless heartbreak in the hunt for this legendary prize. This is it. We've got something happening here. Now, startling discoveries point to the possibility that what lies beneath Oak Island is far more incredible than anyone ever imagined. Could this truly be the moment the entire world has been waiting for? Step with us into the thrilling details of this historic discovery at the Oak Island Treasure Gold Tunnel beneath Borehole D N11.5 in Episode 15 of Season 10 of The Curse of Oak Island. As Rick Lagina took a short break from the relentless expedition, Charles Barkhouse and geologist Terry Matheson stepped up to lead, beginning the drilling at a possible gateway to a treasure chamber, Borehole DN11.5. But DN11.5 wasn't just any ordinary dig. It sat right in the middle of the famous Treasure Zone, an area long associated with signs of rich gold deposits and the strange presence of hidden air pockets. Whatever rested down there could completely alter the course of the hunt. The borehole DN11.5 was within this crucial zone. After long hours of intense drilling, the crew finally reached the most critical depth, between 80 and 120 feet. Exactly where many believed the long-sought secrets could be waiting. Momentum was strong, and everything seemed to be on track. The drill operator gave an update. The borehole was now reaching depths between 78 and 88 feet, inching closer to the unknown. We're down DN11.5, between 78 and 88 feet. Excitement buzzed across the team until a sudden jolt broke the moment. The operator stunned everyone when he revealed that the drill had hit unexpected resistance around the 90-foot mark, moving as though it had broken into something unusual. Could this mean they had found a hidden chamber or an ancient cavern deep underground? Moments later, the operator confirmed it. There was a hollow space beneath them. That was the turning point. Something urgent was unfolding, and Charles quickly called Rick and Marty to return to the site without delay. In no time, the Lagina brothers were back on location. Mike, the drill operator, explained to the full team that at about 90 feet deep, the rods had broken through something unusual. Beyond that spot, there was an empty gap, a void measuring about 1.5 feet. What exactly had they pierced? Could this finally be the major breakthrough they had been hoping for all these years? Even more compelling, the find matched up with earlier evidence from boreholes DN 12.5 and DN 13.5, all aligned in a clear east-to-west direction. It was no accident. Something bigger was definitely connecting these points. There was only one way to know for sure. They had to pull up the core sample and study it. The hours dragged on as the work continued. Finally, the core sample was brought to the surface, and what it revealed was shocking. Pieces of wood deeply embedded within the material. "I don't think it's likely, but maybe we've got something," Terry observed as he examined the solid wooden fragments intertwined with the core. A small piece was carefully removed, destined for testing to see if it carried traces of metal or other undeniable signs of human presence. The urgency grew. By the time Rick Lagina and Craig Tester made their way to the Oak Island Interpretive Center later that day, anticipation was at its peak. There, they joined archaeologist Laird Niven and scientist Emma Culligan, ready to hear the long-awaited test results. The XRF analysis from DN 11.5 confirmed their hopes. It pointed to a tunnel, and not just any tunnel, but one that seemed to align with the garden shaft, an area known for its potential treasure hotspots. This new lead could be the breakthrough they needed, an entrance to the secrets Oak Island had kept for centuries. Over the next 24 hours, the wood sample was meticulously dried and analyzed. Emma used the X-ray fluorescent spectrometer to scan the material, and the first results were predictable, as they revealed traces of iron, manganese, titanium, calcium, potassium, and aluminum. Materials common to Oak Island's rugged landscape. But Emma re-examined the data and discovered something new: gold. It was faint, but undeniably present. This wasn't just another natural deposit. It was a rare find, an outlier that defied easy explanation. The combination of gold in the wood sample and traces found in the surrounding water suggested a connection. Two different modems, if you will, in the wood and in the water. That's fantastic. Yeah, this might be the first breadcrumbs on a trail long buried. The Laguna team's search was far from over, but for the first time in years, the possibility of uncovering Oak Island's elusive treasure felt closer than ever. Season 11 promised to unveil even more astonishing discoveries. Ceramic ware on Lot 5. In the first episode of Season 11, the team investigating Lot 5 realizes it might not have been a home like they originally thought. If this was a dwelling, it should have a foundational wall. Instead, it seems to be a place where things were left behind, much like the money pit. They start digging through a round hole marked with stones by the island's first owner, Robert Young, who believed it was important. While digging, Fiona uncovers some broken red pottery stuck in a rock. "I think we found some red ware." This piece was different from what they had found before. It had a purple glaze on the edge and a darker glaze inside. Laird, after looking at it, believes it could be from the 1600s because of its design and use. In general, it can get into the 1600s, Laird admits. He has never seen such an old pottery piece before. However, red ware was used to transport goods to Europe and North America in the 17th and 18th centuries. Since this pottery comes from before the area of the money pit was developed, it raises questions about what this site was used for. The red ware discovery suggests that even though Lot 5 had been abandoned for years, it may have been a place where people lived before the 1760s, people settling here, and it happened before the discovery of the money pit. The team keeps digging and finds another pottery shard. This one is thicker than the first. Laird identifies it as coarse earthenware, likely much older and in better shape. It won't be easy to piece together the full story of what happened on Lot 5, but the team is determined to uncover every clue with a metal detector in hand and unwavering determination. What will the Laguna team find? Will it bring them closer to the truth or send them down a new path? Let's find out. Lot 5 Coin Collection. Episode 1. Rick and Gary are still working in Lot 5, zeroing in on spots that their metal detectors marked with signals. With their detectors and digging tools in hand, they start hunting for whatever might be buried beneath the soil. At one flagged location, the detector gives off a strong reading, suggesting something heavy just under the surface. After some careful digging, Laird pulls out an old coin, a thrilling way to kick off the season. "We got the coin, El." The coin's rough texture and design instantly remind Laird of a Roman coin discovered nearby a few years earlier. It looks hand-hammered, the kind of piece forged centuries ago. Not long after, another coin is uncovered in a separate flagged spot. Excited by the momentum, Rick calls his brother Marty to join the dig. Before long, Rick himself finds a third coin that resembles the first two, all three carrying the same ancient hammered style. Laird and Emma begin analyzing the coins. With XRF and CT scans, they discover that the first coin is mostly copper with traces of silver, very different from Roman coins, which were made with tin and lead. It's 94% copper and about 5% silver, Emma explains, proving the coin isn't Roman, but still extremely old. The second coin reveals a mix of copper, silicon, lead, and tin, aligning closely with the makeup of Roman coins, sparking theories of ties to the Knights Templar or early explorers. The third coin shows faint woven markings and turns out to be brass. Emma's results confirm it's a French denier from the 13th century, much like another coin discovered in past seasons. The team starts wondering whether this French coin might connect to the French barter tokens once used on the island. The very next day, they press on with the search in the same area. Craig digs up an iron fragment shaped like a piece of an old map, which is collected for further analysis. Later, buried beneath some debris, another coin is discovered, the fourth of the episode. Experts suggest it may indeed be Roman, and like the others, it's hand-hammered and remarkably well preserved. The team expected the possibility of Roman artifacts, but the addition of French coins in the same lot makes the discovery even more surprising. Metal Strap Discovery, Episode 2. About 100 yards from Lot 5, Rick and Gary continue sweeping the ground with their detector, hoping for more coin finds. After digging into the damp soil, they unearth a large metal strap. Gary thinks it could have once been part of a decorative object, maybe a piece broken off a chest or box. Another theory is that the strap connects directly to the nearby coin discoveries, possibly belonging to a chest or container that was dragged or moved across the ground, scattering coins along the way. A few minutes later, they find another metal object, this one a thick, heavy piece of iron. Gary notes that it looks like a rose head fastener. Like other pieces they've found, it's hand-forged and old. This looks like it goes down to a point there. If the theory is correct, this iron piece could be part of a structure that was once assembled and possibly buried near the circular depression. The team wonders why so many metal objects are showing up, especially since iron was valuable in the past. They take their findings to blacksmith expert Carmen Lega. He suggests that the iron piece could have been used as a chisel for mining or tunneling. If that's right, it might have belonged to the people who originally hid the treasure or built the tunnels. Carmen explains that the iron piece has worn down over time and should have been about a foot long originally to serve its purpose. As for the strap, Carmen believes it was likely decorative and tied around a chest or box, mostly used by the French centuries ago. This discovery shifts the theory, suggesting that the French might have been on the island long before the English arrived. The French could have explored the island, using it as a stopover for ships. Later, the English, following the conception, might have found it, with Sir William Phipps's name tied to its history. The analysis also supports the idea that the French had a presence on the island. This isn't just a guess, as there are other French artifacts like the lead cross found on the island. Jack also speculates that the strap could be part of a hatch, and that the presence of French artifacts aligns with Zena Halpern's discovery of maps from the 12th and 14th centuries, which connect the island to the Knights Templar. If the Knights Templar did hide treasure on the island, they would have likely done so underground, creating a maze of tunnels to protect it. The Oak Island team may have just uncovered something that could lead them to the hidden treasure vault on Lot 5, wood chunks in borehole D 5N26.5. Wood is often used for doors and sometimes for pillars in buildings. When pieces of it are found deep in the ground, far out of sight, it raises questions about what it was originally used for. In the second episode of Season 11, while continuing their drilling work at the Money Pit, the team makes an important find on the east side of the garden shaft. The drilling had initially been aimed at uncovering a tunnel, a structure, or hidden treasure, but it didn't show much until the hole reached a depth of 98 to 108 feet. This depth was believed to be where a tunnel might be located, just like in borehole DN 11.5. At 108 feet, the team uncovered a medium-sized piece of wood among the debris, suggesting they were getting closer to a wooden structure, likely a tunnel beneath the drill site. When they drilled an inch further, they found another piece of wood, confirming the first find was not a mistake. Now the team wonders if the wood pieces come from the same structure, or if another tunnel is hidden nearby. They also question if the tunnel goes directly under the garden shaft, possibly leading toward the baby blob, or if it's part of a different structure that leads away from it. The only link between the wood and the garden shaft is that it matches samples found nearby, suggesting the wood might have come from the same type of tree. At 105 feet deep, another sample was taken, but these pieces were smaller and the soil was gray, indicating they had reached the tunnel. This spot, according to the drilling map, is close to where treasure may be buried around the garden shaft, and the discovery of these wood pieces supports this theory. The map shows that the tunnel leads straight to the garden shaft, suggesting it was built by someone leaving something behind, rather than by those searching for treasure. At 111.5 feet, the team finds several pieces of wood in the debris, showing they are about 107 feet away from the target area. The wood pieces appear to be from floorboards or a fallen ceiling, which leads the team to follow the tunnel detection holes to pinpoint the exact direction before they extend the garden shaft. 2 wood samples were taken from boreholes D5N12 and D5N26.5 and sent to Emma for analysis. The goal was to see if the wood came from the same tunnel, or if another unknown tunnel existed under the garden shaft. Well, we definitely have the tunnel. After checking, Emma found that the wood was from the same tunnel. It contained potassium and aluminum, but there were no signs of gold, silver, or other precious metals. However, she did find palladium, which was unexpected for that depth. This suggested the wood may have been used in the preservation or refinement of gold. From Moyer's perspective, the presence of palladium points to the possibility of gold or platinum deposits nearby, most likely under the garden shaft. However, these wood pieces are nothing compared to what was found next. Iron artifacts on the shoreline of Lot 5. Gary and his team may not have uncovered the legendary treasure yet, but Oak Island never fails to share pieces of its mysterious past. Even something as small as a rusted nail or a broken tool could hold a key to secrets buried for centuries. The search is constant, and in Episode 4, Gary and Peter carried out a routine metal-detecting sweep near the beach, not far from where archaeologists were working in Lot 5. They focused on areas marked with flags, each one indicating high metal signals that could lead to important discoveries. Gary explained that the flags were positioned to line up with the circular feature at the center of Lot 5, suggesting there might be a link. He also pointed out that artifacts uncovered near the shoreline could differ from those found deeper inland by the archaeologists, but they all still seemed connected. Historically, the beach might have been a busy landing site where ships and boats unloaded goods, treasures, or trade items. As the search began, Peter dug at one of the marked locations while Gary used a smaller detector designed for quick results. Before long, they hit on something significant: a long iron piece with a triangular head and sharp point. Gary immediately recognized it as a cribbing spike, a fastening tool not typically found on this side of the island. He noted it was forged from wrought iron and closely resembled other early metal artifacts previously discovered. Although still a theory, the spike could have been used in the construction of either the circular feature or the rectangular stone foundation within Lot 5. Another possibility is that it was connected to shipbuilding, since Oak Island has a long history of boat construction. Cribbing spikes were essential in joining 2 large timbers, making them vital in both shipbuilding and possibly the underground tunnel systems and structures believed to exist beneath the island. Not long after, the team unearthed another fascinating find: a large, weathered iron piece with an uneven hole in the center, shaped perfectly to fit a human hand. After examining it closely, Gary suggested it was most likely a handle once attached to something larger. The big question was, attached to what? It could have been part of a digging tool, or perhaps a more common household item forged long ago. Though its shape looked natural, Gary remarked that it strongly resembled the handle of the Spanish scissors discovered years ago by Dan Blankenship. Artifacts also believed to be of Spanish origin. To confirm, the mysterious piece was sent to the Interpretive Center for further analysis. Metal experts Carmen and Emma inspected the artifact. Carmen Lear supported Gary's idea, explaining that the handle did, in fact, belong to an old pair of scissors, possibly dating back to the 1600s or 1700s. He pointed out that the missing hardened edges were the exact spots where the scissor blades would have been welded to the handle. When placed side by side with the scissors found by Dan Blankenship, the similarities were unmistakable. However, Carman emphasized that this new handle was much older, potentially dating back to the same era as the construction of the circular feature in Lot 5. Could this handle be a clue to what lies buried within the circular feature? To dig deeper, the team expanded their search and uncovered a centuries-old foundation. Along the way, they encountered relics that hinted at secret military activities. A rectangular foundation was discovered close to Lot 5 in the same episode. The team continued their work alongside the archaeologists, focusing on the arch and the rectangular structure buried near the center of Lot 5. The team estimated that the rectangular feature was built in the 1700s, close in age to the circular depression at the heart of the lot. The big question remains: were these two structures built at the same time, or did one come before the other? Evidence suggested the rectangular foundation might have been inspired by the earlier circular feature, which was dated to the 1600s, about a century older. Helen, a seasoned archaeologist, noted that in her 40-year career, she had never encountered a foundation quite like this one. It seemed almost unique, as though it had no equivalent. While carefully excavating the foundation, Jamie uncovered a large piece of creamware, similar to what had been found in the circular feature. She identified the creamware as having been made in 1762. So, that's the creamware. That's the stuff that was first made in 1762. If her assessment was correct, its presence in both the rectangular foundation and Lot 5 strengthened the idea that secret military activities might have taken place there long before the money pit was discovered. Excited by the find, Jack suggested that a complete piece of pottery could reveal more than scattered fragments found at different times. As the team kept digging, more creamware pieces from the mid-17th century emerged, along with the fragment of a porcelain teacup, a rare and valuable item from that era. Helen and Alex observed the rectangular foundation closely and theorized that the two features on Lot 5 were likely present long before Charles Morris divided the island into 4-acre lots in 1762, or even before the money pit was discovered. Helen noted that the rectangular structure was once a rock-lined pit covered with stones. The middle section of the foundation, filled with loose rubble, appeared to have been tampered with and did not form naturally. The uneven rubble raised doubts about the structure's original purpose and construction date. Helen remarked that while the surrounding edges of the foundation were intact and well-proportioned, the center looked rough and neglected, as if the feature was built around something rather than on its own. This discovery hinted that the rectangular foundation might be concealing something significant, raising new questions about its purpose and the secrets it could hold. Earlier in their search for answers, Gary's team used advanced technology to uncover hidden mysteries. What they found beneath the yellow, blue, and red anomalies in the money pit resembled this rectangular foundation. Could there be multiple treasures waiting to be unearthed? In a scientific report of an anomaly at the Money Pit 2 years ago, the Oak Island team turned to Idon Technologies for help, gathering detailed information about the Money Pit area. Using a method called muon tomography, Idon provided more precise reports on underground activity. The process involved placing 14 sensitive cameras into boreholes around the Money Pit. These cameras, set at depths between 80 and 250 feet, monitored underground movements and structures for over 2 years. The main goal was to identify tunnels leading to the Money Pit, underground vaults, empty spaces, and areas of high density that might hold treasure or clues to its location. Idon's team later transformed the collected data into easy-to-read images and maps. The imagery showed a mix of colors: yellow for neutral zones, blue for low-density areas, and orange and red for high-density anomalies, which were of particular interest, as they might indicate treasure or valuable metals. Even the blue zones couldn't be ignored, as they might hide tunnels, vaults, or chambers. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.